China and Taiwan for almost 20 years. We're in a situation of mutual fear and increasing militarization. Each side worried that the other was going to do something that would challenge its fundamental interests. China feared that Taiwan would become a fully independent country, and Taiwan feared that it was going to be subordinated in ways that it didn't want to. And the United States regarded this as a dangerous situation. But today the situation is very different. It's much more positive. The range of cooperation is much better. Each side is less worried about the intentions of the other. This came about because the leaders of the two countries, Hu Jintao on the Chinese side and Ma Ying-jeou, who was elected president of Taiwan in 2008, took risks for a better relationship. Each could have worried that if they made concessions, the other side would pocket the concessions and ask for more. But they took the risks anyway, and it's worked out. Each side has reassured the other. They've expanded the cooperation, at least in the economic area. And the situation is more stable. It's good for the United States. The progress has not extended into political or security areas. China would like it to move in that direction, but there are some significant limits to that. Taiwan politics, conceptual differences. But for right now, China is patient, it seems, and that's good. And so it should remain an incremental process, that progress will be made when progress can be made. There remain some difficult obstacles to resolving this fundamental dispute between the two sides. One is conceptual differences over the legal and political character of the Taiwan government. Is it a sovereign entity for purposes of Taiwan's participation in the international system and for purposes of resolving the dispute? The approach that Beijing has taken to Hong Kong and Macau is that these entities are not sovereign entities. They are given autonomy. Taiwan has insisted that it is a sovereign entity and needs to be treated on that basis. So that's a fundamental gap. Then you have public opinion in Taiwan. And the Taiwan public does not seem ready to go in the direction of political and security talks, much less resolving the fundamental dispute. For some Taiwan people, their past history affects their attitudes about the present and the future, because they or their families live through the harsh imposition of Chiang Kai-shek's power and control after 1949, when Chiang Kai-shek's government came to Taiwan. The first 3 or 4 decades were very, very difficult. It was a very authoritarian system. Taiwan, since then, has become a very vibrant democracy. And Taiwan people don't want to go back, and they have this innate fear of outsiders and what outsiders will do to them. The United States has approved of what has happened in the last 5 years. It has endorsed what's happened, and it would like to see it continue. My main fear about the future is that China will lose patience and will try to get what it wants from Taiwan through pressure and intimidation rather than through persuasion. And then that would put us in a difficult position. We say it's our abiding interest that this dispute be solved peacefully. That probably means two things, both nonviolent and voluntary on Taiwan's part. You could imagine a scenario where the outcome is nonviolent, but it's not particularly voluntary because the Chinese have pushed Taiwan to consider an offer it can't refuse. And that becomes very difficult for us. It's not good for us, it's not good for Taiwan, it's probably not good for China either.